I don't have any more Tic Tac, so I've resorted to just eating regular candy. Yep. I'm turning into Dylan.
Is there like a fire elemental that's following you around now?
Yeah. More.
Is that the one that fights?
Yeah, they fight.
Oh.
And they turn into other things. So,
Oh man, you got like 4 of them following you around now.
yeah. The water turns into like a wave, and then the rock turns into a boulder.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever used the fire all that much.
Rebecca, is Dylan still addicted to candy?
Oh my god, yes. Especially gummies.
Oh my god. Yep. Ah, Dylan. Dylan never changes.
Nope.
Just like war.
Yep. That's what I was what I was referencing. You know, when we used to work together, I would be like, "Yo, man, you gotta eat something that's not candy. Like, you gotta eat some actual food sometime." And he'd be like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "You can't just eat candy all day." And he'd show me the package and be like, "Look, it's got vitamin B in it." Like,
Hey, this is the original gummy bears, man. Vitamin B.
You probably never seen it. I think Alex has probably seen it. Like that. I have this face that I make that like my defeated face. Like it's just like it's like a blank look, and I just like look around, like in random directions and shit. Like,
is this motherfucker for real?
Yep, that's exactly it.
Oh shit.
Oh, the good old days. Man. Man, I remember one time you were so fucking sick. You were like dying. Like you had the flu or some shit. You still came to work. And you're still fucking eating candy.
Keeps me strong, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh my god.
Trying to get that vitamin C from the candy.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
Testing out your powers, bro.
Yes. I'm not sure what my #1 button does.
That thing that you just did, when you use it, I think you leech life and some other stuff like
hatred increases.
Oh, I leech blue.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good one.
And then let's see. That one.
Yeah, you should probably be using that. And multi-shot. Like for the big packs, you want to be using multi-shot probably.
I have this thing, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, that one's good too.
That's your ultimate.
That's fun. And it just.
But I think that one has a cooldown, so you probably want to save that for like an elite pack or like a blue pack.
Well, just like I think a mob in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the multi-shot is good for just spamming at anything.
I have rapid fire.
Yeah, rapid fire is good for like one target or lots of weak targets that are coming at you in a line.
And then when you run out of power, you turn into your #1 key. And then use that as a regular attack, and it'll restock your energy.
Yeah.
Alright, I think I'm ready.
Alrighty.
Alright.
Go. No, I think we go down here. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're right. Think we gotta go to the sewers or some shit?
Nah, it's too early for the sewers.
Still waiting.
You ain't going nowhere, bro. Guys, I was reading this article.
Now we need to get to the sewers. I'll explain why.
I'm gonna call them the big three. It's about Microsoft, Intel, and AMD. They basically have come to the conclusion that any chipset or processor that you buy after today, or not after today, after the date that I read the article, will only be supported by Windows 10.
That's
Demons are blocking our way.
It's unfortunate.
We must destroy their summoning construct.
although my next build will be Windows 10 anyway, so I won't have to worry about it.
Yeah. So their reasoning, well, one thing for like Intel, I talked about Alex with this before, is that like they're saying that there's some stability issues with their new chip, and being on what they claim that being on Windows 10 helps because it can use like its power features, the built-in power features that the processors have, and
There has to be a way into the sewers from here.
I guess that's a valid reason you want that to work. AMD, you know, a lot of their new chips are coming with GPUs on them and stuff, and they want you to take advantage of the DirectX 12. Some of the chips utilize
This
HSA.
leads to the sewers.
That's like the architecture that lets you use the GPU to do CPU stuff. And I guess they feel like nobody's
So now you're telling
utilizing.
the truth.
I mean, you need Windows 10 to utilize that properly, so they're trying to push that. Microsoft wants everybody to have DirectX 12 and all their other stuff like the built-in Xbox thing, Cortana. Cortana. So basically the big three decided, you know, from here on out we're only going to support Windows 10. They say that it's using a lot of resources to make them the older software compatible with the new hardware, and that could be like money that they could be investing into R&D for the future stuff. So that's like a cost that they want to cut out.
I can't blame them for not. I mean, it's not like anybody's competing with Windows.
Adria should be up
Yeah, I mean,
Linux is kind of
Linux is there, but it doesn't have the support that like
yeah,
everybody needs. And
and Apple's is not
Mac OS is the same thing.
not even in the game.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so there are some issues that some people have. Like, I know a lot of people personally that they're like, I don't like Windows 7, it's slow. And I mean, Windows 10, it's slow. For me, it's slow. And to all of those people, I always tell them, look, you probably have a shitty computer. Like, just like that. Like, if you put Windows 10 on your computer and it runs like shit, it's probably because you have a shitty computer.
the witch, Adria.
I mean, not like compatibility issues and bugs and things. I just mean like if your computer is literally slower after you upgrade, you probably have a shitty computer. It's probably time to upgrade. And I kind of feel them, you know, like splitting the resources. Windows 7 is not going to be here forever. Windows 8 was terrible. I sympathize for anybody that experienced that. 8.1 was a little bit better, but ultimately, Windows 7 is still more popular.
Windows XP
And
is probably still more popular.
There's
than
some
Windows
people
8.
still using Windows XP. I don't know what they're doing.
Koreans.
Maybe just checking email. Yeah, probably the Koreans. North Korea, not South Korea. Yeah. So,
I got it.
by the way, Dylan, did you know about the whole instability thing that Intel was going through?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so I was talking to Alex about this too. Like, they were saying that the new Skylake processors, that they become unstable when they have complex workloads, such as Prime 95. Have you ever used Prime 95?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay, so I'll just briefly explain what it is for you and the viewers. It's like it's a software that runs numerical algorithms. The purpose of it is to find the highest prime number. Prime number is anything that's can only be divided by 1 in itself. So like 1, 3, 7, 11, 13, 17, etc. They use it for like scientific research. Supposedly, if your computer is responsible for finding the next highest prime number that is unknown, there's like a cash reward. I don't remember how much it is. It's like $100,000 or $1,000,000. I can't remember. You probably shouldn't be using Prime 95 to get that, because they probably have supercomputers trying to calculate that already, so the chances of your computer finding that number are slim. But you can still join it and contribute your processing power to help find the next number. The reason why I know about it is because PC builders have been using it for a while to stress test hardware.
I'm ready. Sorry.
Okay. No, feel free to cut me off anytime. They use it to stress test hardware. So, because like as soon as you start the program and you start to run it, it will use every single resource on your computer. In terms of like CPU and memory. So I use it a lot to stress test CPUs. It's pretty good for that. It's good for seeing if your setup is stable, and also to make sure that you don't overheat. So like something that a lot of, I would say the most intensive thing that people actually use computers for on a day-to-day basis is maybe video editing, and Prime 95 will maybe even double your CPU temperature from when you're editing videos, rendering them out and stuff. So it's a good way to make sure that your system is stable and able to run for a really long amount of time. Which brings me back to the whole thing of being unstable. It's like the whole purpose of Intels are to do scientific research and all those type of heavy calculations. Is kind of an oversight that they didn't test this prior to. So anyways,
I am so good. I astound myself.
I happen to have one of those the newer chipsets. The FM2 socket is the newest AMD chipset. So I was like, you know what? Fine, Microsoft, AMD, you guys really want to push this Windows 10 thing? Fine, I'll go ahead with you guys. You know, like I can't fight you anymore. Like I'm already missing out on performance as it is from not upgrading to it. So I decided, okay, I have Windows 7. I have a legit Windows 7. They want to give me a free upgrade, I'll take it. Let me be the guinea pig. I'll do it. So I downloaded the upgrade and I did it. Like I'm currently on Windows 10.
Oh, nice.
So let me give you like a brief overview over that. So the installer worked perfectly. I installed it. I mean, I downloaded it, installed it. This looks like a mess. I can't even see the enemies right now. I don't know what's going on.
Just shoot in my general direction.
Well, it's a good thing I got the Hydra, because he's doing work. Or they're doing work. So yeah, I downloaded the installer. It didn't take long, even with the shitty Comcast connection these days. Ran it. It didn't take long to install. I mean, I would say if you have a shitty computer, it's probably an all-day thing. But if you have something halfway decent that was built in maybe the last 2-3 years, it should only be maybe an hour-long process to upgrade from Windows 7 to 10. During the installation, there's a lot of stuff that you have to customize. I've said this before, there's a lot of like privacy issues with Windows 10. So there's a lot of things that you might want to turn off, like information that they're sending to Microsoft about your usage. So
Yeah, I heard about that.
I would read that carefully.
I don't have enough arcane power.
I thought that was permanent. I thought that was.
Oh, some of it is permanent, but some of it they do let you turn it off. It's really unclear as to what they're actually keeping track of or not, because like when you're reading through all of it, you're like, this all sounds like the same thing. But whatever, just turn off as much of it as you can. I have Cortana off right now because I don't really have the time to mess around with that yet. Even though I am really interested to see how it works, I just don't really want her to be popping up on the computer when I'm doing stuff. So here were the issues that I had installing it. I mean, with the initial installation. The initial installation went fine, but when I started up the computer for the first time, everything seemed like it was okay. I right-clicked the desktop, and as if I was gonna go to look at my Radeon settings, because that's like the most important thing on a gaming computer. You want to make sure that all of your graphics stuff is working properly. No Radeon drivers, which was strange to me because I was like, okay, how am I even powering this 1440p display? Because I run the virtual super resolution. How am I even powering this display with no display drivers? That's strange. Another thing that I had to reinstall was my oh, by the way, it uses the same exact drivers as the Windows 7. So I don't know why it didn't just carry over. Maybe the way that it, like, once it extracts the files, maybe it installs it differently. That is probably the case, because DirectX 12 is there. So I didn't even have to re-download the file because I already had the drivers on in my documents. My mouse drivers were not there. The mouse still worked, but I couldn't load like all my custom profiles, so I had to go back on SteelSeries website and download it, which actually wasn't even a bad thing because I wasn't aware that I had outdated drivers for that, and they had like a much better driver. So I installed that. The alert volume was incredibly loud. It almost deafened me. But other than that, I think everything else was fine. Now, here is the interesting part. Being the person that I am, the first thing that I did, what do you think it was?
Run performance on it of
Yep.
some sort.
Benchmark test everything.
Some kind of benchmark.
Yep. So, it seems that everything on the CPU end was the same. Like I ran Prime 95, everything was stable. Did a couple CPU benchmarks, everything was generally where it should be. But then I started looking at the GPU performance. Now, have you guys ever used Alien Swarm? No. Star Swarm, sorry. Alien Swarm is a video game.
No.
Star Swarm is a benchmark test for. It's made by Oxide Games. You remember them? I talk about them frequently.
Yeah.
They made Ashes of Singularity. They've had trouble in the past with NVIDIA calling them not a real studio and stuff like that.
Yeah.
they're one of the people that are helping to push DirectX 12
I am so good.
and stuff.
Treasure Goblin.
Huh?
Treasure Goblin.
Oh,
Kill it. No legend. Awesome.
me neither. So they have a benchmark that you can download. It's free on Steam. You can just type free benchmark in the thing, and you'll see Starstorm pop up. And it's basically a stress test for your GPU.
Here.
I fucking hate these little elites that run around and do stupid shit. So it's a stress test, and it's a really cool stress test in that you can customize how it works. So the basic idea is that they give you an engine, and you can choose if you want to like follow the ship in the test, or you want it to have like an RTS point of view. You can customize the graphic settings, obviously, all different various anti-aliasing settings and stuff. And the really cool part is that, like, normally I don't watch the benchmarks as I'm doing them because they're normally boring, just going through scenery and stuff. But in Starstorm, it's really cool because you're seeing like thousands of units on the screen at once. So what it does is like it brings you into a setting where you're in like a space battle or something. You're in like a little ship, and as the benchmark progresses, it tries to load more and more items into the memory. So if you have a good enough computer, you'll get to the point where there's like many thousands of things on the screen at one time. And I like this this stress test for GPUs. It's really nice. It can get to the point where you have more than 5,000 things, and you're getting like 2 frames per second in certain settings. So on Windows 7, with my custom settings that I used to test it, I was getting like 53 frames per second on average, and I wanted to see how it would work in Windows 10, if it would affect it at all. And especially because I have a unique setup, because I have 2 GPUs in my computer. So I ran the test on Windows 10, and the results I got were pretty damn good. Like, using the same settings that I got 53 FPS on Windows 7, I got 63 FPS on Windows 10. Which is pretty damn good. That's like free performance out of nowhere. So in terms of gaming, yeah, it further confirms that Windows 10 is probably the way to go. In terms of graphics, it definitely does perform better. Yes, there are some variations on current games that are not DirectX 12 compliant. They're maybe 9 or 11 or some shit. Oh shit, I just tapped out of the game. But all in all, I'm satisfied with it. I was gonna add something to that. Now, here's the big question, right? One of the big questions is, should you upgrade for...
Go back to town when you're ready.
Should you upgrade to get this extra performance? Here's what I think.
I'm sorry.
This
to
is
put
my
you like this,
semi-professional
but it will all
opinion,
be for the best
which
in the end.
is more professional than probably some of the internet journalists, who I hate a lot. Currently, I feel that the majority of games are CPU bound. Like any online game is going to be CPU bound, like this game, HOTS, Dota, League, all that stuff. Even like stuff like Borderlands, um, Left 4 Dead. Like basically anything that I've put on my YouTube channel has been CPU bound. Even stuff like even current games. I would say, what was that one that was The Witcher is somewhat CPU bound. Um, any game made by Bethesda is CPU bound, and if that's your problem, switching to Windows 10 is not going to help. Because the CPU performance is basically the same. Now, if you're in the situation where you have a really good processor, like an 8-core FX or a good recent i5 or i7 or one of the better AMD A10s, but you have kind of a mediocre graphics card, like the entry-level Radeon, the R7 360, you could probably benefit from the additional graphics power that's offered in Windows 10. And in that case, I would say go ahead and upgrade if you have the free upgrade. If you don't have the free upgrade and you don't have the funds to upgrade right now, probably just wait until you're gonna build your next system, because it's not urgent, but it works, and you should feel safe that it works for the future. I was actually surprised that everything else that I didn't mention worked perfectly for me. Even like all my recording hardware, software, editing, everything worked perfectly fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it my stamp of approval.
Pretty good.
Alright.
Did you catch all of that, Rebecca?
Take that.
I don't think she's with us anymore.
She's been ignoring you since the start, so.
Where'd she go?
I don't know. She's in the other room. Can't see her.
She's right here, though.
Becca. Oh, I hear something coming on.
She had to get some food, man. She was hungry.
Yeah, she was hungry.
What? Are we talking about me?
I just like concluded the conversation, and I was like, "Did you get all of that?" And silence. Like, silence. I was just joking, but it just happened to be funny.
Oh shit.
Oh, some other programs that I had to reinstall was CPU-Z. I don't know if you ever used that. It's just a hardware identification program.
Yeah, I have that.
Okay, I'm ready.
But they already had like a Windows 10 version of it, and yeah, I guess that's it.
Can't wait to upgrade.
I think I'll hold out.